Let me tell you how it will be.
Welcome back to The Price of Business. You know that music. The one and only my good friend Bob Loeser. He is in the house and always glad to see him. I thought about you a lot since the last time you were on, Bob. Thanks for that incredible weather in your old neck of the woods up there in near Buffalo. Not Buffalo, but near Buffalo. Yep. I bet you were watching that relatively closely.
Well, I still have family in Buffalo, New York, but what's interesting is, and we talked about this before the break, Buffalo vicinity only got 6-8 inches during that time period. It was what they call the southern tier, which is south between Buffalo and the Pennsylvania border, that got hit and inundated. Over 12 feet of snow in a 3 or 4 day period. The stadium where the Buffalo Bills play professional football had 12 feet that it would have taken them 5 to 7 days to clear that snow. With volunteers that they were going to pay at $12 an hour to clear it. So they played that game in Detroit. But family was fortunate to only have to shovel 6 to 8 inches rather than the 8 to 12 feet.
Yeah, they went to Detroit for their safety, and they ended up getting mugged.
but they won the game.
They won the game. That's not, who did they play?
They played the Jets.
Oh yeah, well yeah,
right. And
that's not even fair though.
No, with nobody on the field, the New York Jets would still lose by a field goal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what was that joke they had for half a decade about the Cowboys? You know, will the people who left their kids to beat up the Cowboys come and pick them up or whatever? Right. Basically, the same thing with the Jets these days.
Exactly.
So here we are. We're well now deep in 2014. You know, I can't believe it. Is it just me or did this fly?
It went by quickly. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Absolutely.
That's a Charles Dickens referral for those out there.
That's right. Unfortunately, most people still don't know what the heck you're talking about.
Charles who?
The Christmas Carol guy. That was the Tale of Two Cities, by the way, he was referring to. But that's the Christmas Carol guy. Yeah, exactly. So where should people be at when it comes to their financial state?
As we talk about annually, as we get into December here, we need to start thinking about making charitable contributions, cleaning out the garage, if you need deductions in 2014. In addition, if you've had a good stock picking year and have some gains, whether they're short-term or long-term, it would be a good decision to review your portfolio, whether you run it or a money manager runs it, and maybe sell the dogs with fleas, so to speak, to reduce that capital gains effect. Hypothetically, if you got $30,000 in capital gains out there, and you got 5 dogs that'll reflect a $6,000 loss, it's better to take that loss now and net the result of $24,000 and pay tax on it than pay tax on the 30 and sell it January, February when you feel either motivated or it's gone down further.
What do you think is, as a person who deals with taxes and helps people with their taxes, and you've been doing this now for a long time, I'm sure you've got these certain times of years, you're looking at different things all the time in an anticipatory way. Right. And I would say that's definitely the case as we enter a new year. What should people be thinking about today?
Well, I mean, the other factors are your real estate taxes are coming up. And for the state of Texas, they're due January 31st. But do you need that deduction in 2015 on January 31st, or do you need it December 31st for this year? You need to consult your advisor, sit down and run numbers. Because
you're expecting this year to not be as good as, next year to be as good as this year? Take advantage of it now, right?
Correct. Or if next year's going to be lower, you're retiring, whatever the case may be, it's better at a higher tax bracket this year. Again, hypothetically, if you're paying $10,000 in real estate taxes and you're at a 25% bracket, it saves you $2,500 by writing the check 1 month earlier.
Yeah.
Okay?
Makes a lot of sense.
And in addition, your mortgage company will not pay those taxes until they're due on January 31st unless you write them in writing and state to them, I want all my property taxes that are escrowed paid by December 31st, 2014.
Mm-hmm. So, and one of the things you often talk about this time of the year is if you got stuff in your closet you're no longer using. Talk a little bit about that.
Correct.
Because there's little tax write-offs all over your house, folks.
I mean, you have to be prudent and realistic. A shirt, or let's go with a suit that you bought for $500. You're not going to get a Salvation Army or Goodwill deduction of $500. It's fair market. So if that suit's worth $75, then that's what you put down and list on your your projected attachment for Goodwill or Salvation Army. But again, if you had $2,000 worth of donations that you can give at a 25% tax bracket, you're saving another $500 in income tax.
Yeah.
And if you do that 3, 4, 5, 6 times, now all of a sudden you've saved $2,500, $3,000, etc. So it's the little things, whether it's cleaning out the garage, it's cleaning out your parents' home, somebody's passed away and you haven't gotten around to it. Those are the types of things that you need to look at this month to take advantage of.
Yeah, absolutely. And then for 2015, is there things, like legislatively or even regulatory-wise that you're looking at that could be changing early next year?
Well, if like several of the corporations are doing, if we all move abroad, then we don't have to worry about U.S. income tax.
Absolutely.
But seriously,
props to them.
No, there's fortunately nothing in legislation that's going to change drastically. Now, again, who knows with the Republicans taking over the Senate as to whether that will be advantageous in 2015 by reducing whether it's some corporate income tax rates or personal tax rates and bringing them back down from the 39.6% that Obamacare pushed it to, maybe bringing it back to 34% so that there is a little bit of an ease. Mm-hmm. And, capital gains rates were initially, way back when, 15%. Now they're 23.8%. All right. There's several of these things that we're watching out for. But if you're asking me as we're standing here and I'm doing a lot of tax planning with clients, where are you? How's your business doing? We just took over recently a really nice business in Houston. They've never done planning over the last 10 years. What's planning? All right. And when I look at their books, last year when they looked at their books and did nothing, they had to write a check for $68,000 to Uncle Sam on April 15th. So we're doing a lot of that for our clientele now in regards to talking to them and going, all right, well, what are your options here? Your options are writing a check or reducing that income by setting up a retirement plan. Excessively had a guy come in and said, hey, I had a great year. I got $120,000 sitting in the bank. I want to set up a retirement plan. I want to put in as much as possible. Well, he's going to put in $50,000 and that's going to save him ballpark $15,000. The way I look at that is you're not spending $50,000. You're only spending $35,000 because $15,000 would have gone to Uncle Sam anyways, and the $50,000 that you're putting into the retirement is going to grow with interest and dividends and earnings, all right, and is yours, not the government's. So when you look at that and say, I've got a lot of clients go, I don't want to put $80,000 into a retirement plan. When I show them it's going to save them $24,000 and it's only going to cost them $56,000, I said, would you prefer having $80,000, even if cash flow is tight right now, or would you prefer having $56,000 knowing $24,000 has just been written to the IRS and you'll never see it again and you don't even get a thank you card?
Yeah, not even a thank you card. Do you think they could afford that? Oh, then again, they got an $18 trillion debt. How silly me.
Correct.
Yeah, well, the old cliche, prior preparation prevents poor performance. I mean, you can really see that when it comes to your tax planning. That's why you need to talk to someone like my friend, Taxman Bob Loeser. And that is taxmanbob at pdq.net. And your phone number?
713-953-1272.
Again?
713-953-1272.
Very good. Thanks so much for your time.
Hey, great seeing you again. Happy
you
holidays.
Too. Yeah, and looking forward to seeing you in 2015. Time continues to go fast, even when I'm not having fun.
That's right.
That's the part that really frustrates me.
But,
At least I can have a good time.
But he's not going to admit it. He's always having fun.
All right, when we come back, much more for you right here on The Price of Business.
There's one for you, 19 for me. 'Cause I'm the tax man. Yeah.